Welcome to the Owner Identity Podcast, where we empower men experiencing same-sex attraction to live a life of purpose and possibility through the power of Christ and for the glory of God. My name is Jason Meller. I am so glad you're here. Come on in, have a seat. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about a quality of masculinity that doesn't get a lot of airtime, but one I believe is foundational: creativity. Not creativity in the sense of being artsy, innovative, or wildly imaginative, though many of us are. I'm talking about the act of creation itself, the ability that God gave us to shape, to form, to cultivate, and to bring life where there wasn't life before. If you open the book of Genesis and pay attention to the first tasks that God gives Adam, you'll notice that God doesn't tell Adam to go conquer something. He doesn't tell him to be the strongest or the bravest or the most commanding presence in the room. Instead, God gives Adam creative work. He gives him a garden to cultivate. He brings animals to him to name. And when God creates Eve, Adam participates with God in the calling to fill and multiply the earth. Before Adam protects anything, before he leads anything, before he builds a culture or a family or a legacy, Adam creates. Creativity is the first masculine assignment. I believe masculine creativity is about taking the raw materials of your life, your emotions, your relationships, your opportunities, and shaping them into something that brings life. A man creates when he turns chaos into order, when he turns potential into purpose, when he turns emptiness into meaning, fear into safety, and confusion into clarity. Creation is what happens when you decide to show up with intention. Let me break this down, because these forms of creativity are often invisible, and that's why we can overlook them. So, men create safety. A safe conversation, a safe environment, a safe emotional space. It doesn't just appear. We form it. We build it with consistency, presence, humility, and boundaries. Men can also create vision. A man says, here's where we're going. He sees possibility when others see obstacles. He names direction when others feel lost. Men create atmosphere. With his attitude, his posture, his energy, his words, a man can shape how a room feels. He can set the tone where people feel seen, safe, and encouraged. Some of the most powerfully creative men I know are not artists at all. They're men who create blessing by the way they show up. So why does this matter for us, guys who experience same-sex attraction? I know that for me, and for many men that I know navigating this, there can be a quiet narrative running in the background. A story, usually unspoken, that says, I don't influence other men. I am on the outside looking in. I don't build the world. I just adapt to survive. I don't shape environments. I just navigate them. Shame loves to tell us that we're not the kind of man who creates. But shame lies. The truth is, God designed you to create, to shape, to influence, to bring life into the environments that you touch. When you create safety for another person, when you build clarity in your own mind, when you set a rhythm and stick to it, when you initiate a conversation that brings blessing, you are acting in your God-given masculinity. I think at the core of all this is one simple truth. Men create because they reflect a creative God. A God who spoke worlds into existence, who formed humans from dust, who plants gardens, crafts covenants, builds nations, restores cities, rewrites stories, raises the dead. Masculinity is not about performance or comparison or impressiveness. It's about participating in God's generative nature, his ability to make all things new. And when you create, even something small, you are joining God in his work. So here's my invitation for you this week. Ask yourself, what can I create? Not what can I perfect, what can I achieve, or what can I produce to prove myself, but what can I shape that brings life? Maybe It's creating a moment of safety for a friend, a disciplined rhythm for your mornings, a conversation you've been putting off, space in your home or your heart for God to speak, an atmosphere of blessing with your words. Real men create, and God wired you that way. Lean into his image for you, take the raw materials of your life, and form something that is shaped like hope. And lastly, I want you to know that you are not defined by the image of the man that you've strived to be. You are defined by the one who calls you his. Enjoy his calling on your life to create. You've got this because God's got you. I'll talk with you soon. Hey guys, I would love to share a podcast review with you. John says, Jason, I love your welcoming, encouraging style. You get the balance between identifying with all good men and finding one's individual place in creation. Thank you for the practical ways to stop the cycle of shame and for empowering us to make masculinity our own. If you are enjoying the Own Your Identity podcast, please leave a 5-star rating and share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Take care.